everybody, welcome back and welcome to the Moody Book Tag. I got tagged in this by John over at Walker7. He tagged me in a few things recently and I'm finally getting around to doing them. Thank you so much for tagging me in this, by the way, John. I really appreciate it. He's been so nice since I joined BookTube back in the sort of end of May. He always he watches a lot of my videos and always makes sure to comment on them, and he's just been so sweet and supportive, and he's really just a lovely person, and he's got great content on his channel. You should definitely go check it out. I will leave a link to his channel in my description, but definitely go check his stuff out, and thank you so much again for tagging me. And yeah, so without any further ado, let's just get into the questions. So number one is, do you consider yourself a mood reader? I would say I wouldn't really consider myself to be one. Like, I will sometimes read books depending on what mood I'm in, because just, you know, sometimes I just want a shorter book or a longer book, or one that I know is going to be this sort of a particular vibe or something, but more or less I'll just make my way through the books that I have bought recently, and just whatever order I read them in will kind of just be random. So yeah, I don't really have to be in a particular mood to read. I'll just kind of read when I have time. Number two is, do you set TBR lists and do you stick to them? Not really. It's one thing I'm thinking about doing for the next half of the year, but I tend to just read, and at the moment I don't really have access to my library card. I need to go sort that out, so I can only really read what I can buy, and I also need to find what I've done with my e-reader. So it tends to be whatever I'm able to get a hold of physically, whether that be in a charity shop or in Waterstones, and it also depends who then what I can afford. So yeah, but once I've bought those books, I will make my way through them. Like, I'm not one of those people that has like loads of unread books on her shelves. Like, I will read all the books that I buy, because otherwise I feel like it's a bit of a waste of money. So yes and no, I guess. And when I do go out to get new books, I do tend to go onto my Goodreads and go onto my sort of to-read category, and that'll be where I find the books I want to pick up. But sometimes I'll see a cool cover and be like, ooh, what's that about? And maybe I'll read it. So yeah, I guess not really is the answer to that question. Number three is, do books affect you emotionally? Does the book rub off on you? Yes. I recently read The Marks Left on Her by Dee Lebowitz. It's a fictionalised memoir, and that just spent the rest of the evening and night just bouncing around in my head. I was just so in awe of like that character and in what happened, and almost like, not shocked, but it definitely just sat with me for days afterwards and things. And similarly with other books, if it's a sad book, if it's an exciting book, that will definitely sort of influence my mood and stuff. And especially if it's a happy book or something happy happens in the book, I'll be in a really good mood for the rest of the day because of it. So yeah, definitely affects me. When you're feeling sad, what do you read or do you not read? I think if I'm feeling really sad, I'll tend to watch things than read. So I'll tend to watch something like just something easy and uplifting, so probably an animated series or a cartoon, so something like She-Ra and the Princess of Power, or Miraculous Ladybug, or Avatar, or last summer when I was quite sad about a specific thing, I binge watched my way through the entirety of Grey's Anatomy. Again, I've watched it for years, and for some reason just crying my way through all the characters, even just like the small patients that died or any sad thing that happens, really helped me get over what was going on. So don't recommend it as a coping mechanism, but it helped me. It meant by the time I got to series 10, series 11, I was no longer crying at every little thing, and I felt a bit better about life. So it's like I got it out of my system. But yeah, it'll tend to be something like a Disney movie or an animated thing, just something that's easy and fun and colourful. Number five is, most often do you use reading to escape, learn, or critically reflect? Definitely escape. I read almost exclusively fantasy. I love just escaping into entirely new worlds with entirely different concepts and places and people, and with none of the real world issues that we all have to deal with and stuff. I just want to get away from all that sometimes. So definitely escapism. Number six is, what is a book that made you laugh out loud? I guess recently I was listening to the audiobooks of The Raven Cycle, and I think just the way the audio narrator just delivered a lot of the jokes, and especially Ronan's sort of sarcastic comments, had me just giggling and actually laughing out loud. I guess because I was listening to it sonically, so it did kind of hit a bit more than it would be if it was just in my head. So yeah, definitely I think just The Raven Cycle recently on audiobook. Book that made you cry or moved you if you don't cry. So a book that has made me cry is The Book Thief, and one that has moved me, I already mentioned it, is The Marks Left on Her by Dean Lebowitz. Just because the content in that book is quite heavy, but it's not a sad book, and it's just really incredible. It definitely moved me. 8 is a book you don't know how you felt about it. For this one I'm going to have to go with The Gilded Ones by Navina Fordat, because I disliked a lot in this book, but I also liked a lot in it, so I don't know if I'm going to continue with the series or not. It was a bit weird. Like, I loved the setting, and I loved the magic, and I loved the concept. The character was an absolute pain in the ass, and everyone treating her like she's so special, and then even at the end of the book we find out why she's still oh so special. And that really pissed me off. Like, oh my god, can we please just stop with the main character is so special, and especially when the character is so special that all the other characters, even their character traits practically seem to revolve around the main character, which I absolutely hated seeing. But as I said, I did kind of like what was going on, and I really liked the setting, so I don't know if I'm going to continue with it or not. I'm really torn as to what my opinion on this book is. 9 is are you more likely to read on a sunny or cloudy day? And either. If it's a sunny day, then yes, I'll go out and I'll be reading outside. I actually did the day, but thankfully my sunburn seems to have sort of cleared up a little bit, which is good. And yeah, so I'll definitely read if it's like a really nice day outside. I'll take the advantage of the few times Scotland gets the sun, and I'll go and sit out with a book. But I will still read on this cloudy day, you know, it's just the opposite. I'll just curl up on my sofa and read, so either or. Number 10 is do you set the mood? So like, you know, candles or music or something. No, I just sit down and read. I can't really read if there's other things going on, and if there's I'm also not really supposed to have lit candles in my flat because it's a rented flat, so yeah, no, I just sit and I read. Number 11 is can you leap from book to book? Yes, I can. Even just last week I went from We Free the Stars to The Marks Left on Her to Good Girl Bad Blood to Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy. So that is a fantasy, memoir, murder mystery, and then sort of historical fiction fantasy, all within about 2 days. So yeah, I can definitely leap from book to book. And yeah, that's the end of the Moody Book Reader tag. What do you think of my answers to these questions? And do you agree with any of the things I've said? What are your answers to these questions? Please let me know in the comments, and if you want to do this book tag, please consider yourselves tagged and let me know if you do it. And thank you again to John for tagging me in this. I've really enjoyed doing this tag, and I will be getting to the other ones that you have tagged me in as well. Definitely go check out his channel. He does some really great content and he's a really lovely person. Yeah, and yeah, just please leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.